The coronavirus pandemic has placed extraordinary demands on leaders in business and beyond. The humanitarian toll taken by COVID 19 creates fear among employees and other stakeholders. The massive scale of the outbreak and its sheer unpredictability make it challenging for executives to respond. At a time when leaders are faced with such unprecedented challenges, we decode the future of leadership with none other than Marshall Goldsmith, an American leadership coach and author of several management-related books. Marshall Goldsmith is one of the world's leading executive coaches and also inducted into Thinkers 50 Hall of Fame in 2018.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me. I've been to India many, many times. I was supposed to be there recently, but because of the crisis, didn't get to go. But it's my favorite place to work in the whole world. So hello to my friends in India. I've probably been there 40 times.
My first question to you, Marshall, really is that how does one, establish strong leadership in the times of uncertainty? Give us some sense there.
Well, this is a question I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about. So this will be most of our talk, because that's what everyone wants to know right now. I'm going to answer this on multiple dimensions. First, you as a person, not as a leader, just as a human. Second, you as a leader, then helping your team. And then we can talk about other questions. But first, forget about you as a leader. Let's think about you as a human. These are very hard times right now. I'm going to talk about something called pragmatic optimism. Pragmatic optimism. Pragmatic means realistic. This is not a time for happy talk. People, I think, today really prefer authenticity. They don't want some pep talk or motivational rally or rah, rah, rah. These are hard times. And being realistic, I don't have high expectations they're going to be better anytime soon. I mean, even in a country like New Zealand has 0 cases of COVID, 0. Their economy is getting killed because they closed the borders and 25% of their economy is tourism. It's going to be hard. I don't think it's going to get better next week or next month. I think it's going to take a long time to get better from this. As an American, people frequently say, well, we've been through hard times before. My answer is, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. I'm 71 years old. There's never been a hard time like this before. So it's tough. The first thing is be a realist. Don't just give pep talks and motivational speeches and jump up and down. People are not idiots. These are hard times, and they're probably not going to get better next week. The second term, though, is pragmatic optimism, how to make the best of it. Now, I'm going to give you some advice from a very famous poem, a poem I've read many times called the Gita. I don't know if you've ever heard of this poem before. It's an Indian poem, the Gita. In the Gita, there's some very profound advice that applies to today. In the Gita, you have Arjuna, the leader of the military, the great archer, and Krishna. And Arjuna is in a very difficult situation. Arjuna's got 2 choices, bad and worse. Well, sometimes as a leader, you have 2 choices, bad and worse. Krishna talks to Arjuna and he says a few things. He says, 1, accept what is. What is. Accept the hard reality of what is. Don't hide from it. And then number 2, after you accept what is, you suck it up and you do your best. You make peace, you suck it up and you do your best. And you don't become fixated on the outcome of your effort. When we become fixated on the outcomes, we lose ourselves in our egos. You don't have total control over the outcomes. No time in my life has this ever been more obvious than today. You did not create this virus, yet it's impacting your life. You do not have control over the outcomes, yet these factors are influencing your life. All you can do is focus on the process of what you're doing and do your best. Don't get fixated on the outcomes, because when you do, you get lost in your own ego And all you do is get into troubles. Now, let's talk about this. I'm going to give you a parable. This is called the parable of the golfer and the beer can. I'm not a golfer. My good friend is a golfer, and he writes books with me. Here's the story. You're playing in the weekend championship at your country club. You love golf. The group in front of you is noisy, drinking beer, yelling. You're very annoyed, yet you're playing very well. You're so annoyed with these people, but you breathe, you do your best. You're on the final hole. You hit your drive. A beautiful shot, right where you want it to go. You're feeling good. It lands, it looks like it's going to be perfect. Your ball hits something and careens over into the rough. Now you have a terrible lie. What did your ball hit? You walk toward the fairway, your ball hit a beer can in the middle of the fairway, left by these terrible people in front of you. You're so angry. These idiots let the beer can. I hit the best drive of my life. Fools. You walk to the ball. What does a golfer need to do? Breathe. Let go of the beer can. Let go of the drive. What is. You're now in the rough. You have to come up with a strategy. What is your strategy? Well, if you're one shot behind and you want to go for the championship, you take a risk. You aim for the green. You probably won't succeed, yet why not? Go for it. If you're 2 shots ahead, pitch into the fairway, you lose by 2, you still win by 2 shots. Who cares? You come up with a strategy, whatever it is. You approach the golf ball. You breathe. You forget about the beer can. You come up with your strategy as a golfer first. Then you hit the shot in front of you. All you do is you focus on one thing. Hit the shot. And as a leader, you want to teach people to do this. Don't focus on winning the championship. Don't focus on the beer can. Hit the shot. All you can do in life is hit the shot. Now, as a leader, my friend Harry Kramer, a great leader, leaders today have to make hard decisions, very hard decisions. Many leaders in India are going to have to lay people off. They're going to have to fire people. This is life. How do you deal with this? Well, my friend Harry was challenged. He was the CEO of a very huge company in America. He was asked a question. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night knowing you have to lay people off, you have to fire people? How can you sleep at night? He said, I asked myself 2 questions. Question 1, did I do what I think was right at the time? Did I do what I thought was right? Maybe it wasn't, I thought it was right. And 2, did I do my best? As a leader, if you do what you think is right and you do your best, that's all you can do. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Make peace. Make peace. Now, how can a leader keep people aligned with the strategy? Well, I'm now going to teach you something that I taught 7 CEOs with great success. In my job as a coach, I don't get paid if my clients don't get better. Better is not judged by me or them, it's judged by everyone around them. This is a great way to test if someone really believes what they're saying. Now, you're young, I'm going to teach you this great technique that'll work for the rest of your life. Are you ready?
Sure.
If you ever want to know if someone believes what they're saying, you can ask them one question and instantly determine their level of belief. A simple question. Do you know what the question is? Do you want to bet on it? Do you want to bet on it? Now, if they say, no, I don't want to bet on it. I believe it, but I don't want to bet on it. They don't believe it. They don't believe it. They're lying. If they say, here's the money, they believe it. I bet on what I do every time. I don't get paid if my clients don't get better, and it's not judged by me or them, it's judged by everyone around them. So I've taught 7 CEOs this technique, and I get paid 7 times, and it's even better in times of crisis. So here's the way it works. Are you ready? I cannot tell the CEO what the strategy should be. I'm not the CEO. That's their job. My job is not tell them what the strategy is, it's help them execute behavior. Here's what you do as a leader. Have a one-on-one dialogue with each of your direct reports. And during periods of rapid change, you don't need less communication, you need more. One-on-one dialogue covering 6 basic topics. Topic 1, where are we going? Here's where I see the business going. Then ask a question, where do you think we should be going? Question 1, where are we going? Here's what I think. What do you think? Question 2, where are you going? Here's where I see you and your part of the business going. Where do you think we should be going? So you want alignment 2 ways. 1, as a leader between the big picture and the small picture, and 2, between you and the other person. Question 3, doing well. Here's what I see you and your part of the business doing very well. And then ask a question, what do you think you're doing well? What are you most proud of? A very good question to ask during times of crisis. We can get lost in the problems and forget about recognition. So very important to take the time to, number 1, tell them what you think is going well, but ask them. And they may tell you things you never realized. Question number 4, suggestions for the future. I'm a believer in something called feed forward more than feedback. Ideas for the future more than feedback about the past. Say, moving forward, we can't change the past. Moving forward, here's ideas that might have to help you get better, and then ask the person a question. If you were the mentor or coach or advisor for you, what ideas might you have for yourself? A great coaching question. My friend George Borst, CEO of Toyota Financial Services, said he learned so much in this question. As a leader, 6 basic questions. Then the key to making this process work is called mutual responsibility. Now, how does this work? What you say to each person is something like this. You know, Mr. Direct Report, I'm going to do my best to cover these 6 important topics. If at any time you feel confused, overcommitted, lack of clarity, I want you to take the responsibility to talk to me. Because if I do my job on a regular basis and you do your job to check in with me, there's no reason we should have a problem in terms of clarity. Then during times of crisis, you have to be clear on one other thing. Things change. You have to say something like this. You know, I'm not saying that our strategy from today is our strategy for next year or next month or tomorrow. Things are changing very rapidly. I want you to have total clarity, though, at any point in time in terms of the basics. Where are we going? Where are you going? How are you doing? At any second, you need clarity. And if you ever feel overcommitted, confused, talk to me, because we need to have alignment now. And again, it may change. You need alignment now. In essence, what have you done? You want, as a leader, each of the people to have a clear strategy in their mind. You want them to block out the past that they can't change. Breathe, hit the shot.
Interesting. A lot of startups are also starting out in the pandemic, thinking that, every crisis brings itself as an opportunity. I think that these are sort of more like catchy statements. I'm not sure how true that is really. But what would be your advice to the entrepreneurs who are starting out right now? How do they sort of gather that strength and courage to just survive or stay afloat? Because these are, as you mentioned, very unprecedented times that we are in right now.
And the reality is, this is going to be very hard advice to many people right now. Sometimes you lose. Make peace. Sometimes you lose. Yesterday, I just talked with a great friend named David Chang. I don't know if you know who David Chang is. He's a very famous restaurant man. He has one of the most famous blogcasts in the world, and he's one of the top 10 greatest chefs in the world. David Chang, good friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's a good friend. 3 of his restaurants just went bankrupt. Not because he's a bad person. If you have a restaurant in New York City that lives and dies on tourism, how many tourists are going to be going to New York City next year? I can help you. Almost none. Bye-bye. It's over. There's no amount of happy talk or pivoting or reprogramming. He owns Michelin 2-star restaurants. People are not going to pay $300 for meals served on a plastic plate with plastic forks. It's not going to happen. Bye-bye. It's done. Well, the first advice for entrepreneurs is face the reality that exists. As an entrepreneur, you have chosen to take a risk. Risk means sometimes you lose. And if you know you're going to lose and you know it's hopeless, face the hard truth fast. If you know it's not going to work, do what David did, close it, shut it down, it's done. Don't waste all of your money and resources on something that's not going to come back anyway. It's done. Now, if you can save it, that's a whole different story. Then that goes back to what I talked about earlier. People need to face the hard reality that exists. You can't lie to people. You're a pragmatist and an optimist, and you say, look, we're going to try to make this work. It's going to be hard. You tell the truth. You tell people you may need to take a pay cut. You tell people they're going to have to sacrifice. This is not necessarily going to be fun. And do they want to go on this journey or not? And if they do, great. And if they don't, they don't. Now, a good thing is about an entrepreneur is if you're a founder, you're the boss. So if people have an attitude out, you don't have time for bad attitudes today. No time for bad attitudes. Out, out, out. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to make hard decisions now. You're probably going to have to lay people off and lay off the right people. Don't do it based on seniority. Do it based on motivation and ability and the willingness to step up and do the job. Then the other thing is, look, down the road, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. Why? Well, in my home in New York, I'm in California now. I have a home in New York. I love the little street, 9th Avenue, has all these nice restaurants. Entrepreneurs own all these restaurants. Every one of them is going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
But you know what? Somebody's going to buy them for 20 cents on a dollar. New York's not going to go away. And in 3 or 4 years, they're going to make a fortune. Well, for entrepreneurs, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. Now, it's hard right now. Right now, it's awful. You have to face reality. It's awful. I'm not going to give you some happy talk and pretend it's going to be wonderful. It's awful. Yet the good news is, in 3 or 4 years, this is going to be an opportunity of a century because there's going to be so many opportunities out there. All those little small businesses that are going to go bankrupt, this is your chance. So the other thing is, I'd say for entrepreneurs is try to do deals with other entrepreneurs right now and say, look, this whole industry sucks right now. We're dying. How can we join together, help each other, and come up with the future here and invent it? And we're going to have a great opportunity down the road. We just have to survive the next 3 or 4 years. And by the way, sometimes that survival means out. You got to close the business because the old business isn't going to work. Like I say, you're not going to have Michelin restaurants with plastic plates. Not going to happen. Bye-bye. Gone, gone, gone. Yeah. Happy talk? No.
Let's talk about failure, for instance. And you spoke about embracing failure, and that is extremely important during these times. But my last question to you really is that if you were to give me like one mental model of thinking for CEOs, maybe a toolkit or a hand guide as to how should they think about these times, what would that really be? Maybe 5 or 6 key points and a mental mode of thinking and how they should think about their journey ahead. So what would that really be?
Well, a couple of points. First, I've already given them one model, the 6-question approach, the whole idea from the Gita, the whole idea of answer yourself, am I doing what I think is right? Am I doing my best in making peace? So that's one model I've already given them. 2, Peter Drucker taught me another great lesson. Every decision in life is made by the person who has the power to make the decision. Make peace with that. We're not here on earth to prove we're smart or right. We're here to make a positive difference. Make peace with that. Well, most of us never understand that. Don't get lost on crap you can't change. If you're not going to make a positive difference, only focus on that. Don't focus on Donald Trump. You're not going to do anything about Donald Trump. Let go. Don't focus on Modi. You can do anything about Modi? No. Let go. Don't focus on Indian politicians. They don't give a shit about you. Let go, let go. Only focus on one thing. And one question to always ask, am I willing at this time to make the investment required to make a positive difference on this topic? Am I willing at this time to make the investment required to make a positive difference on this topic? The answer is yes, go for it. Answer is no, let go. Now, my final advice, are you ready, for everybody?
Sure.
Breathe. I want you to imagine you're 95 years old and you're just getting ready to die. You're on your deathbed. Here comes your last breath. Before you take that last breath, you're given a beautiful gift. The ability to go back in time. The ability to go back in time and talk to the person that's listening to me right now. The ability to help this person be a better leader and have a happier life. What advice would that old person who knows what really mattered in life and what doesn't, what's important and what isn't, have for you right now? You see, these are very important times we're in right now. You will remember what you did now for the rest of your life. What do you want to remember? These are very important times. Now, some friends of mine interviewed old folks who are dying, got to ask these questions. What advice would you have? On the personal side, 3 themes. Theme 1, 3 words. Be happy now. Not next week, not next month, be happy now. The Great Western Disease, which by the way has taken over India. Mumbai's worse than the United States. What is the Great Western Disease? I will be happy when I get the money, status, BMW, condominium. I will be happy when. We all have the same when. When is that old person facing death? Don't get so busy chasing what you don't have, you forget what you do have. Now let's take you as a great case study, my fine interviewer. You might be looking at me thinking, look at that lucky old man. Look at that lucky old guy. Got millions of dollars. He's got 3 homes, written all those books. Oh, lucky old man. Lucky him. See, you have one thing I don't have. You know what that's called? Youth. Many years. You want the books? Give me the years. I give you the books.
Yeah.
Number 1, don't get wrapped up looking at what you don't have. You forget what you do have. Number 2 is friends and family. Don't, even your entrepreneurs, don't get so driven to that business you forget the people who love you. Life is too short for that. And number 3, go for it. If you don't go for it when you're 35, you won't when you're 85. And old people, they just go for it, feel better about their lives. Business advice isn't too much different. Number 1, have fun. Hey, we're all going to die anyway. We're all going to be equally dead here. Let's just have some fun. And this is terrible. It is what it is. Just make the best of it. Be pragmatic and optimistic at the same time. Number 2 is people. You're going to have to make hard decisions about people. It's tough. All you can do is do what you think is right. You do your best and you make peace. You're good to your friends, and family, people around you as best you can be. And then finally, go for it. Just go for it. I mean, there are going to be some huge opportunities down the road here. Hang in there for the next 3 or 4 years. Keep going for it. And, just go for it. Old people that follow our dreams, we're happier with our lives. Now, none of us, and by the way, old people, we never regret the risk we take and fail. We always regret the risk we fail to take. So finally, as I've grown older, my mission in life my aspiration in life has gone down and down and down, but my impact is going up and up and up. Why? I quit worrying about what I'm not going to change. I quit worrying about what I'm not going to change. Just focus on what I can change. So let me give you my mission for this call today. Are we ready for the mission? My mission, if you're listening, is to help you or the people around you have just a little better life. That's all. That's all. Every CEO I coach, you know what I tell them? My mission is just to help you or the people around you have a little better life. And you might be surprised how many CEOs have ever said that's a bad mission. None. That's good enough. That's good enough.
I'm sure it's a great mission. And thank you so much for giving out your time on sharing those valuable inputs with us. I'm sure all those who listen to it will have a very, very valuable difference in their life. Thank you so much, Marshall. I really and truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.